All right, so ready for another deep dive. Today, we're looking into something pretty big.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
It's about this new campaign from the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay.
It's aimed at potential migrants, people in Latin America who might be thinking about coming to the U.S.
Hmm.
And, well, it's a multi-million-dollar effort to, discourage them from making that journey illegally.
I see.
It's definitely a complex issue.
For sure.
But we've got a great article from ABC News to help us break it down.
Okay.
So the goal is pretty clear, right? Stop people from coming to the U.S. illegally.
Right.
But the way they're going about it is interesting.
How so?
Well, they're really trying to get into the minds of the people they're trying to reach.
Okay.
It's not just some generic message blasted everywhere.
So,
They're using different types of media, like traditional stuff, but also digital strategies.
like targeted ads and stuff.
Exactly. And they're tailoring the message to different groups in Latin America.
Smart. Makes sense to be specific.
Right. They're really thinking about who you're talking to and what might resonate with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the actual message itself is pretty powerful.
Oh,
It's not just, don't come here. It goes deeper than that.
like what?
It talks about the dangers of the journey itself, how risky it can be.
Right. It's a tough journey for sure.
And they also talk about the possibility of exploitation by smugglers.
Yeah, you hear those stories.
It's a real risk. And of course, they emphasize the legal consequences of trying to enter illegally.
So they're laying out the whole picture, huh?
Exactly. They want people to understand what they're getting into before they even start.
I mean, that's fair.
Right. And the article, it even has this story about a woman from Honduras.
Okay.
She was tricked by smugglers.
Ugh, that's awful.
It is. And it just highlights the dangers the campaign is talking about.
It's like a real-life example of what can go wrong.
Exactly.
It makes you think, though.
About,
Well, will this kind of message actually work?
yeah, that's the big question, right? I mean, people are often in desperate situations.
Right.
Do they really listen to these ads?
It's hard to say. We've seen similar campaigns before.
Yeah.
Mixed results, to be honest.
I'll say.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The challenge is getting through to people who are already vulnerable.
Yeah, they might be so focused on getting to a better life that they block out the risks.
Exactly. It's a tough situation all around.
It is. And then there's another thing to consider.
What's that?
The unintended consequences.
Uh-oh. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Maybe. What if this campaign, with all its talk about danger, scares away people who actually have legitimate reasons to seek asylum?
That's the tricky part, right? You want to deter illegal immigration, but you don't want to shut the door on people who need help.
Exactly. It's such a fine line.
It is. The message has to be strong enough to be effective, but also sensitive to the reality that some people are fleeing for their lives.
It's complicated, no easy answers.
Not at all. It really makes you think about all the factors at play.
Right, like what leads people to make this journey in the first place?
Yeah, it goes way beyond just messaging.
Exactly. It's about poverty, violence, lack of opportunity, things governments should be addressing.
Absolutely. It's a huge responsibility.
It is, and it makes you wonder, what role should governments play in fixing those bigger issues?
Right. How can they create conditions where people don't feel forced to leave their homes in the first place?
That's the real question, and it's one we'll have to keep asking.
Definitely.
So we've covered a lot today. We've seen the scale of this DHS campaign, their strategy, the message they're trying to get across, and we've talked about the potential impact, both positive and negative.
It's a lot to digest.
It is, but it's important stuff. And it leaves us with some big questions to think about. What drives migration? What's the best way to address it? What role should governments play? We'll leave you to ponder those.
Lots to think about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Catch you next time.
See ya!
Bye.